Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 2 of the road to 10,000. Still in the same lobby. I'm actually going to record this one back to back with the first episode. I'm hoping to get Sunshine Airport. Cloud Top Cruise would be a worst case scenario, and it looks like it's actually going to land on me. Your boy, the Canadian Wifier, gets picked. So as I explained in the last video, if you have not seen it yet, there are 3 main types of this game: soft drifting, demon sliding, and fire hopping. Fire hopping, by the way, I didn't really touch on, but it's only faster on flat ground or uphill. If you try to fire hop downhill, you actually stick to the ground and it's considerably slower. There are a few exceptions, of course, just like with any rule. Notably in Wild Woods or Dolphin Shoals, but those names mean very little to you. Just know that in the general case, if you have a boost and you're going downhill, what you want to do is actually demon slide down that hill with the boost. You can think of it as fire sliding if you want. It's basically what I just did there. It's literally just demon sliding with a boost. It's slower than straight fire hopping, but it's faster than doing nothing on the hill. Because like I said, actually just straight hopping like this downhill will slow you down. As we're already getting blue shelled once again. It's quite incredible. I think so far, I did not mean to place that banana there. It's going to hit absolutely no one. I failed the trick. Dodge the boomerang. I'm going to try for a low jump here. And I get it a little too low. Okay, so that's actually a ramp I failed quite a lot. If you do what I did and you jump into it at a higher altitude, I suppose, as opposed to just going right over it, you actually clip over it and you get what's called a low jump, or sorry, a low ramp. And it's a significant bit faster. However, if you get it too high on the ramp, you actually go too low, and you can entirely miss the ramp altogether, or you can do what I did there and clip into the thing. So yeah, I'm hoping in general on tracks like Sunshine Airport, where there's a lot of little tech, this first turn, if you can get a red turbo, it's all soft drifting, which I failed to do there, but I did on the first lap. So you saw, rewind the tape, as you can see here. Did not get the low jump that time, but as finally I'm getting a little bit of blue shell luck. This guy is going to be the one who gets blue shelled this time, as I'm going to be able to fire hop past him, up the glider, and I really, unless I fail, should not be losing first, unless there's maybe a shock as I go over this glider. I can trick off the plane ring. Yep. That plane should never come into play, the third lap plane, Jesus. Anyway, there's Sunshine Airport, interesting track. I actually really like it. It's one of my favorite tracks early on when I bought this game. I'm like, man, you can race around in an airport, that's so cool. It's a decently challenging track, I say, competitively, but a little bit of practice and you'll be fine at it. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do once I get past like the general here's how you play the game. Like I've said about 20 times now already in the first 2 episodes, the main 3 in this game have been knocked out. Mount Wario is in my top 3 from the original 32 tracks, and it is a fan favorite, as you can see quite clearly. Lots of people like it. Toad's Turnpike is hands down the worst track in the game, and if it lands on Toad's Turnpike, I might just fucking rage quit this video. But other than that, Mount Wario is an incredible front-running track. It's really fun, and it is arguably one of the harder tracks in the entire game. Is this going to land on Toad's Turnpike, isn't it? It's actually going to land on Toad's Turnpike. I hate my life. Toad's Turnpike, if you don't know, it's literally just bump hell. Like I said in the first episode, bumping in this game is a little bit ridiculous. The way lag handles bumping as well. The way the game handles lag, if you get hit on your screen, you're held accountable, even if they lagged into you. So say I'm driving behind someone and on my screen they hit a truck, even though they really didn't hit the truck on their screen. On my screen, I'm held accountable for running into the back of their shell. This track is very soft drift heavy, and I can barely do any of them. Like I said, soft drifting is hands down my worst tech. Sliding is something that a lot of people downplay for like, oh, it's not that important. If you can't slide, don't worry. I honestly feel like sliding's, like I said, I mentioned it in my top 3. I think it's incredibly important to know and to master. I will admit it's less important than soft drifting or fire hopping. If you need to master one of them, go for fire hopping, which honestly isn't hard. As you can see, I'm fire hopping right here. It's literally just mashing back and forth. It's all rhythm. Hopefully I can sight this guy with a green. That'd be kind of nice, but if I cannot, it's not going to be the end of the world. Stuck at 2 coins. Bloopers, I don't know if I mentioned in the first episode, as hopefully that gets them. I missed the item, and now I'm just swerving all over the track like a fucking moron. Bloopers, I don't know if I mentioned in the first episode, affect your traction. The way it works is your traction stat is how much, I guess how much handling you have when you're drifting. So as you can see right now, I can pull pretty tight while I'm drifting. If you're inked, your traction goes down to like a quarter of what it normally is. That's not where I meant to throw that. I meant to put that right behind me. I'm gonna have to go wide here. That's upsetting. Guy in for... I think there's been a blue shell every race so far in this series. That's ridiculous. There's not normally this many blue shells, guys. Seriously. If I can not hit that car, that'd be great. This is actually a shroom spot, so I'm gonna go for it. As unfortunately, I don't get an item. Unless something crazy happens, I should be pulling second in this race. I can hear a guy right behind me. It's actually a Mario. Doubt he's going to be able to pass me though, because I'm on the inside, and I'm just going to fire hop to the finish line. As you can see, the Bowser actually got stuck up there on the in the glider. You can lose the Toad's Turnpike race. Unlike most other courses, the finish line, the big awning that goes over top of it, isn't actually flippable. So if you run into it, you just stop dead, and you can lose the race like that. Anyway, as you can see, first or second in a race gets you about 20 points. So the series will be, I don't want to say moving along swiftly, but it definitely won't take too long to get to 1,000 at the rate I'm going, that's for sure. Unless I start getting some Mario Kart 8 luck thrown my way. I can't imagine this series taking more than maybe 60 or 70 episodes. Cheeseland is in my top 5 all-time courses. This track is incredible. A lot of people like in the community don't enjoy the remake. There are 2 types of tracks in Mario Kart games. If you've never played a Mario Kart game in your life, retro tracks and nitro tracks. Nitro tracks are tracks that are new to the game, in this case such as like Water Park or Mario Kart Stadium. Retro tracks are tracks that they've brought back from past games, such as like Cheap Cheap Beach, or in this case Royal Raceway is actually one of them. Royal Raceway is a track that if you know how to race the track competitively, you can get out to an obnoxious lead very quickly. It's also a really good track to practice the game at. If you want practice with soft drifting, there are plenty of long turns that you need to charge super mini turbos on. If you want to practice no item shortcuts, here comes one right here. As you can see, a lot faster than going around that corner. This is right here what I'm going up, the best spot in the game to practice fire hopping, because not only are there guardrails on both sides in case you mess up, but if everything goes completely wrong, there's even a glider at the end to reset your momentum. So if you're just learning to fire hop or want to learn, I definitely recommend going to Royal Raceway and trying to learn there. And like I said, there's lots of places to learn soft drifting as well. Lots of places, just in general. Like if you want to get good at this game, getting good at this track, and you're halfway there. As you can see, the ink is really freaking... like, what the ink does in this game, I really do appreciate what Nintendo did to the ink, because it used to be an incredibly useless item. And what it does is it just messes up your lines. As you can see, my entire alignment, that whole corner there, was just completely off. That was just a fail on my part. But what it does is it ruins your lines, and if you're in like 3rd place and you want to catch up to someone, there's no easier way to catch up to them than if everyone in front of you has their lines ruined. So it's actually a really powerful item compared to what it used to be, which was a joke of an item. As I believe I'm getting bloopered in the exact same spot again, which is upsetting because, like I said, really messes with your traction. That time, I believe I played through it a little bit better. And I'm getting bloopered again. One thing about bloopers though is any boost panel, mushroom, or even going underwater will instantly remove it and all the effects of it. So, I don't know. It's just a very interesting concept in this game that they actually managed to make bloopers useful. as opposed to completely worthless. As I had a little bit of trouble there on lap 2, but like I said, if you know how to race that course, 9 times out of 10 you will win it, unless you get screwed over right at the very beginning, in which case, best of luck to you, you're probably going to lose. There aren't very many catch-up points, and if you know how to race the lines in the course in general, like I said, you can kind of just break away. This track and Mario Kart Stadium are the 2 tracks in the game that really drive home the fundamentals. Mario Kart Stadium is ironic too, because it's the very first track in this game, and it tests not only your soft drifting abilities in both directions, but it also tests demon sliding, fire sliding, like I coined it last episode, where you demon slide downhill to extend a boost, similar to fire hopping, and fire hopping in general. So like it nails the big 3, or I guess 3.5 if you want to count fire sliding as a different technique altogether. Which is, like I said, ironic, because Nintendo had no idea that those techniques were in their game when they released it. Otherwise, I assume they would have done something about it. Unless they knew all along, in which case, good on you, Nintendo, because this game would have been incredibly boring without them. But I just find it funny that the very first track in the game, if you can get good at that, you basically get good at the game because it drives home all the fundamentals. This lobby's kind of interesting. We got Brazilians, we got Japanese, we got a couple people from the Netherlands, Mexico, Austria even. I love racing worldwide, just to see how many different countries in the world, I guess, how many places Mario Kart can reach. It's really interesting. Yoshi Valley is a fun track. Once again, great track to front run, as there aren't that many mushroom spots. There's only one at the end, and it is pretty incredible, but it's not going to win you the race single-handedly. As you can see, the gimmick, I suppose, of Yoshi Valley, and this is true all the way back in its iteration in Nintendo 64 as well, is that there's about... That was ugly fire hopping, holy. There's about 20 different ways you can go. One of them is the fastest, one of them is the second fastest. The way that I went, I'm about to get triple redded. Yep. Unfortunate, but there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. What you're supposed to do in that case, by the way, is hold your... Wow, I got bumped by that Bowser right before I went over the bridge. I'm surprised I held it together. What you're supposed to do in that situation is hold your banana in your hand. As you saw, he threw 2 red shells very close back to back. One to break my trail, and one to hit me. If you hold a banana in your hand, what you can do is get hit by the first red shell. The second one will hit you while you're still in hit stun from the first, and then just hold out your banana as if nothing happened, drive away as the third one is thrown. So it basically gives you a way to only get hit by 1 red shell out of a triple set, as opposed to getting hit by 2 or 3. As back into first to start the final lap. Like I said, front running not incredibly difficult on this track if you know how to do it. The path that I'm going right now is obviously the fastest. I like going the other way, the first lap, because not only does it get you a few coins, but it's also normally not incredibly crowded with a million people all bumping you at the same time over the bridge. Coins in this game, I guess I could quickly go over that, as this is the last lap of the last race of the second video. They increase your overall speed by 20%, I believe. Don't quote me on that. It has a bigger effect percentage-wise for smaller characters, so it's kind of like a balancing act by Nintendo. The speed bonus affects lightweights more than it affects heavyweights, but nonetheless, they're an investment. Get them first lap and keep them till the third lap, and you will win the race most often than not. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. Like I said, less explaining as the series goes on. Look forward to it. So far, we've already climbed, what, 200 points up the ladder? Up the ladder. Towards our goal of 10,000 online player points. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will hope to see you very, very soon in the very next one. What happened to my voice? Okay. See you guys.